Welcome everyone to our accessibility workshop, our cafe conversation. I'm really excited to have Kate Norris here. We have been placing a few links in the chat for you to go ahead and join us in the slide deck, as well as document your attendance. If you're not able to get into the attendance link, please let me know. I will be monitoring the chat. Otherwise, I am going to turn it over to Kate to get us started with today's session. Thank you for being here.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kate Norris, and I'm faculty in the Department of Urban and Regional Planning, which is in the College of Design, Construction, and Planning. I have been teaching online since 2017, and so we're using Canvas all the time here. Um, so what I'm going to do is talk about some tips and tricks that work for me as I've brought my class through this and continue to bring my class through this process. This slide deck I'm going to show you isn't like a slide deck I would present to a class. This is more like a technical white paper kind of slide deck. I want you to be able to save it, and if you need to reference anything or share it with a colleague who wasn't able to attend, you have that option. So the reason we're all here is because our classes need to be accessible by April 24th, 2026. And there's a lot of tools and a lot of information coming at us all at once on how to do this. And it's kind of all over the place. And so I kind of wanted to, as I went through this process, document so I could share with some of my colleagues what I was finding. And, it just kind of grew and grew, and there's a lot to take in. So the agenda is packed. I feel like if I read through all of this, it would eat into too much time. We're going to go through some of the information that CITT provides, some of the accessibility tools available through Canvas and Microsoft and Adobe, and then some other references that's also helpful. So one of the things I think everyone needs to do is go to the CITT's website and visit this site first. This is the 8 steps to course accessibility. This is very important. And, I didn't know this information before I started. But what I realized after I went to it, after I had already done it, was that I myself had followed these similar steps in a similar order. So if you don't know where to start, this is where I suggest you start. So number one, access your situation. I think that's where we all start banging our heads on our desk because there's a lot to do. And number two, the number one thing I'm going to suggest this whole time is that you remove unused files. These unused files they're gonna nickel and dime you for accessibility points all over the place in your class. So get rid of it if you don't need it. Another thing that has been really difficult for me to do during this process is my class has a whole section at the bottom of all my modules called Give Me More, where I just take and post references to PDFs and web links and videos to all this other information that's not required material, but it's like additional. Like if you love this section and you want more, go here. The problem is that all that material, even though it's not required material for my class, is also required to be accessible. So there's a lot to take in, and you kind of have to go through this process, and you're going to have to pick and choose in some cases. So the links to this are in the PDF. The PDF should be in the chat. So download it, use it, share it. These links will take you to where you need to go. The next thing, as I went through this process, was I was like, man, it'd be really good if there was a checklist. And guess what? There is a checklist, but I didn't find it until afterwards. So I want everybody to know that there is a course accessibility checklist. I don't think it covers everything, but if you need a starting place, I think this is a really good starting place. And so this link is also available through the document if you would like to download this checklist. It kind of goes through some more of the stuff that one of the tools, like we're going to be talking about different tools that work in Canvas, and this kind of is connected to the You Do It checker in Canvas, which is another thing I didn't know happened or existed. So we'll find out more about that.
Hey, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for this today because I feel like I'm so behind on what I'm supposed to be doing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I know like our college, we work very closely with our instructional designers and they are helping us with this. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I guess my short question is, each faculty member is responsible for ensuring their stuff is accessible, right? Like it's on
Exactly. It's
each of
on
us.
the faculty member.
Okay.
And it's everything in your class. It's copyrighted material.
Right.
It's any PDF. Anything you have in there as course material, you're required to make it accessible. So it's a heavy lift. And so that's why that bottom thing, if you're feeling overwhelmed, you need to focus on what's required for your class. I'm sure there's a lot of professors like me out there that's putting extra stuff in that's not
Mm-hmm.
required. This might be a time to pull some of that back and do that second. So we need to get all our required material up and accessible. And then as we have time, because we're kind of in a rush until the end of April, right?
Right.
And then come back and put in our, hey, this is a really good thing. It's not required, but it's really good for them to know. Do that afterwards when you have more time and then
Right.
get it up, so it might be up for next fall, but it might not be up at the end of this semester. We kind of have to feel out what we can do and what we can't do,
Yes.
and if
Yeah,
we're kind
that's
of
how I've been feeling like, oh my gosh, like it's been so like overwhelming to think of everything, but important and good. And I try to use universal design for learning principles regardless.
mhm.
But I guess my last question, I'll be quiet, is how is this being monitored, audited? Is there a process UF is going to be doing outside of our, because I know our instructional designers said they did not want to be like the accountability keepers of this. Do you know anything on that side of things?
I don't. That would be a really good question for CITT probably,
Okay.
but I have a lot of information, but how UF is going to approach this, I'm not sure. All I've been told is that it's on us at, and we're the vulnerable population. The faculty is vulnerable if your class is not accessible.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's
Thank you
really
so
important.
much.
It's not, this is falling on us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Thank you.
yeah. So the first tool I want to cover that's in Canvas, and I'm not sure if everybody's aware of this tool or not, but this is one of the big tools that you're going to use to work on making your course accessible. This is the Canvas Ally Accessibility Report. And as you can see, when I started this process, my class was a mess. It was 53% accessible. And through a long, torturous period, I have managed to get it to 97%, I'm going to say, in this tool, accessible. Because I'm going to tell you throughout this course that I learned that there's not just one Canvas tool. So first off, if you haven't been made aware already of where this tool is, we're going to walk through that, what can be fixed in it, how to fix PDFs and Words and PowerPoints that you might have in your class, and some warnings about this tool as you're using it. So once again, if you're feeling overwhelmed, pull some stuff back, do your required stuff, and then push out the non-required stuff later. All right, so the Ally Accessibility Report. So as you have your Canvas page opened, you're going to want to go and look on the pane on the left-hand side and go down to Instructor Tools and click on that. And that's going to bring up your Instructor Tools, and you'll see the Ally Accessibility Report. And if you click on that, and it might take a little bit, but it's going to run, and it's going to give you a score. And it's going to tell you what your issues are. And so here's a quick tip for me. When I started this, I saw green, and I thought it meant good. I didn't realize that green meant it was only possibly 67%, accessible. So that's another thing to keep in mind. And there's different shades of green, and I didn't know that either. So this is another good thing to keep in mind as you're going through this process. Don't be fooled by green. But also focus on those red items first. Focus on the severe indicators and the low accessibility scores. And as you walk through this process, you're going to get that report. And a lot of that stuff, the way it's written on there, is really confusing what it means. And so what I had to do is I was starting to put stuff in search terms if it wasn't fixable in the Ally tool. And so at the end of this PDF, for my stuff that I came out, I've copied and pasted it in there because it's a little bit easier to copy paste from the PDF than it is going to be from this website application. All right, so in Ally Tool, there are some things that the tool can fix for you, and there's some things that you're going to have to fix outside of the tool. Um, A lot of the things are, if on your Canvas page you have images, you can add the alt text there. If the tables in your Canvas page don't have headers, you can add them in there. There's some stuff you can do in here. There's also some stuff you should not be doing in here, and I'll kind of get to that in a minute. And then as we go through the course, sometimes there's like little extra things, like as you're doing alt text, sometimes it'll say like what's a descriptive image. You can kind of do that. You know, you should know what a descriptive image is before you start clicking the descriptive image button. So there's some more information there for that thing if you need it. So as you open the Ally tool, you're going to see that there's some things you can fix in the Ally tool itself. The number one thing, and this is the really low-hanging fruit, this is where I suggest when you have Canvas open, there's this image is missing a description. So these are images in your Canvas page. As you're scrolling through your Canvas page, not in a PDF or PowerPoint, on the page, these are images that exist. And these images have to have alt text. I really suggest doing this first. Those images really knock your score down. If you can take care of those images, it helps. As you can see, there's also an auto-generate descriptions button, that'll do it for you. What the common thing to suggest is that if you click that auto-generate description, it's going to make something. Just read through it first before you accept it and move on, because sometimes the AI doesn't always properly read your image. The other tools in this, a lot of them can be applied to your PDFs. So don't do what I did. I got really carried away. I cut in here and I was like, yeah, I'll fix this stuff real quick. And I was fixing my alt images, and then I jumped into fixing my PDFs. Well, those PDFs were a mess. And so I went and added all this other information through these tools, but I had to go and redo this because I had to pull my PDFs out and make them documents, edit them, and put them back in. And then some of these tools I had to rerun. So don't be like me. Don't do this twice. Do it once. Take your PDFs and your PowerPoints and stuff out of Canvas, fix them, and then bring them back in before you play with any of these tools with regard to your PDFs. Another thing to keep in mind is that if you pull your PDF out and you fix it and you bring it back in and you reconnect your hyperlinks and see that, hey, oh, there's another thing I can fix using the Ally tool. If you click the Ally tool and it runs and it changes the file to the point where the modified goes from your name to the Ally name, that means that the PDF's like number that sits behind the scenes that's connected to its file number has changed. So the hyperlinks in your class that are linking to those, sometimes they'll work and sometimes they will break. And broken hyperlinks means that a student's going to click on that link and they're going to get a 404, that they can't access the PDF or document you want them to see. So be aware of that. And then you're probably asking, well, how do I know what hyperlinks are broken? There's a tool in your settings, and it's called the Validate Links in Contents tool. And this tool, if you run it, is going to tell you where all your broken links are. So this is a great tool. Every semester when I start my course, as part of my course prep for the semester, I run this tool and I check where all my links are. So if you run the tool, the Ally tool, and you update things, and then you come and run the links validation tool right away, sometimes those things are running in the background for Ally and they're not updated in the system yet. So sometimes a broken link might not show up until the next day. So if I do a ton of changes, I always come back the next morning and I rerun this, restart the links validation tool just to do a double check to see if anything happened behind the scenes last night that was kind of stuck, you know, waiting in a queue to get processed. So there's that. So PDFs are going to get you. If you have PDFs, you got to get them updated. If they're your PDFs or if they're PDFs you downloaded, even if it's not your content, you got to update it. And so what this involves is a lot of people like to just pull their PDFs into Word. And so what I found was that the PDFs, if you have to edit them, they're a lot cleaner, actually, if you take them through Acrobat Pro and use the Convert tool, and then you push those PDFs out to Word through that Convert tool, and then you edit them in Word or whatever you're going to use. There's just the reader and the converter is better in Acrobat than it is in Word, and it's going to make things faster and easier for you. Once you have your document opened in Word or PowerPoint, if you go at the top, there's a review tab. If you go to that, you can go to this other tool called Check Accessibility. And that's going to be this great tool that's going to help you add alt text. It's going to help you fix headers and titles and contrast issues. And so my suggestion is to use that tool. It's pretty user-friendly compared to the Adobe accessibility tool that exists. Just this is from my experience. And then what you want to do is you want to import your PDFs back to Canvas and then recheck them and see what their score is and check that ally tool and see if there's any little things you need to do. Some of my PDFs were saying that whatever reason, my language information wasn't showing up, so I had to select English, and then Ally fixed it, and then they were 100%. UF recommends the Rich Content Editor file picker when you are doing your hyperlinks. And here's a warning, not all professors give out their slides. I give out my slides, but my problem is that I take my module slides and I stick them all together in one PDF. And previously, I was using the PDF binder tool to do that. Well, I did that again after I had added all my alt text, and the PDF binder tool dropped all the alt text. So my recommendation is if you are putting a series of PDFs together and combining them into one, that you use the Acrobat Pro Combine Files tool. Okay, so that is really helpful. That Combine Files tool is only available if you have an account with them. So UF is giving everybody a free account through the end of March. If you go and get with them on that, that tool is only available that way. You don't have an account to use the Convert PDF to Word tool. These are the online tools available through Acrobat. So we were just starting to talk about the Microsoft Accessibility Assistant. And so this is what I'm going to show you really quick. So as you see, I have my slide deck here opened up. And if I go to the Review tab and check accessibility, and then I use the Accessibility Assistant, I can kind of run through and update and edit things. And as you can see at the top, there's those quick fixes. You can run through those sections. Something to be aware of when you're using the Accessibility Assistant in a Microsoft product, there is the tool that's auto-generate. So just like Canvas can auto-generate alt text, you can also auto-generate alt text using the Microsoft Accessibility Assistant. And so what this does is it goes and it takes the information and it actually sends your image up to the cloud, and it creates the generated alt text and brings it back to you. All right, so what happens is if it's going up to the cloud, you actually can, I've done this where you're clicking that button so many times that you're going to hit a limit. If you're going like crazy, they're going to throttle you and you're going to go, why am I getting that failed to generate description, try again text? It's because you did a lot all at once and you're getting throttled by Microsoft. There's no daily limits, but they are going to try to slow you down if you get kind of crazy. Another thing to consider, and this has really gotten me because I'm dyslexic. And so the Accessibility Assistant does not have a spell checker. So if you're in there and you're just typing away, know that there's no spell checker in there. So your alt text could have some spelling issues and you won't have that red line letting you know that there's an issue. Just some things to keep in mind as you're going through this. Another thing to keep in mind is that a lot of times you upload your PDF and then it says it doesn't have a title. That was really confusing to me because I'm like, well, isn't the title in the file name.pdf? Apparently it's not. You have to go through the file and then go to the info and then go to this section called title. And what I do is I just copy my title, that's my first line in my PDF, and pop it in there. You can also add the tag English United States in there. And that's how you actually get the title in the PDF before it gets uploaded. So this was something that was coming back to me because I was really confused on why my things didn't have a title after all this editing I did. So this is another frustrating point. All right, so we just talked about the Microsoft Accessibility Assistant. Well, Adobe Acrobat, which is free for faculty right now, if you go through that link and you sign up, they also have a Prepare for Accessibility tool. Now, I went to the online tools because I was using a lot of the Adobe online tools before, like the export to PDF to Word and the combined files tool. And then I was told that this tool existed. And I racked my brain in that online application only to find out it's not available in the online app. You have to download it. So you've got to go to that Acrobat, the Adobe Acrobat download button, and you've got to download that to your computer. And if your computer is run by your IT department, you're probably going to have them help you get this on your machine. So reach out to them sooner than later if that's something that you need.
Kate,
All
you've got
right.
a couple questions in the chat.
Okay.
The how to request the Acrobat Pro goes through CITT, correct?
Yeah.
And the link is in your deck, is in your
The
slide
link
deck?
is in the deck. Yeah, I think I have it in a couple spots in the deck.
Yep.
I think it was, for some reason, it's not going back. Hold on. Yeah, so this link here is going to take you there. It's also at the end in the reference section. So that's why it's really good. I don't know if you guys haven't downloaded this presentation yet that I stuck in the chat. We can re-stick it in there if you're not seeing it. Download it because that's where all the links are.
Hey, I tried it to get it, but I haven't heard anything for a week. How long does it take to get it?
That's a really good
We
question. What
work for
happened to me at the
CITT, but
at the beginning of the
yeah.
semester, I started to go, oh my goodness, this isn't working. And so then I went and put a request in myself to have my department buy it for me. So I went through that process. Try reaching out to your IT department and see if they can help maybe move that ball a little quicker for you. I'm not really sure.
Here's the space where you can request the Adobe Acrobat Pro through May 31st. I just put it in
Yeah.
there's a form that you go on to fill out.
Mhm.
Okay.
So I did request it like a week ago or so, Nancy, and they did respond surprisingly fast. Like I think it was the same day or the following day, with an email and a link, and you had to click the link and then download the Adobe, and then you had to sign in with your UF account into the Adobe desktop version or something like that. So
Okay.
just
All right.
maybe
Maybe I missed a step. Yep.
Are there any more questions or should I keep going?
I had a quick question. So when you were talking about the PDFs, and exporting them or like converting them into Word and then reconverting them into PDF, um, is it allowed to do like a workaround where you just give a URL to the PDF that is hosted on a different website? Or would we still be responsible for example, like in engineering, we have a lot of data sheets for components and things like that. So I was thinking, okay, instead of uploading the PDFs for the students, what if I give them a URL and then the website is on the manufacturer's website, the PDF is on the manufacturer's website. You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. I'm not 100% sure, but I think if it's web linked to somewhere else and it's not like in
On
it. But
Canvas? Yeah.
here's the issue is that you have to say, we're going to cover this later in your syllabus. If there's any material that's not accessible to you, let me know and I will make it accessible. So
Got it.
there's a chance that you're going to have to put this in there. There's a chance you could have a student who could request you make it accessible for them if it's not through the website because it's course material.
Okay, got it. All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Jennifer, do you have something on
Yeah,
that?
we are not responsible for what is on other people's websites. However, you are directly responsible because you pointed the students to that site. They want you to point them to something that is accessible, so that could come back to haunt you.
Yeah.
The other thing I'll say is you can use the Adobe Reader. You can go in and use the search. You can upload the PDF. You can use the search box in Adobe Reader and tell it to tag your PDF, which is one of the most common issues with the PDF is it's not tagged. And with the version that we get from UF, you can actually tag your PDF so that they are accessible.
What does it even mean? Like, what does tagging the PDF mean? Like, I honestly don't understand what this
I
means.
mean, to make an analogy, I guess probably the simplest way to is kind of like headings and in a Word document. Tagging is what they do in a PDF document, I guess. If somebody's got a
Yeah.
better explanation, I'll offer it up. But
Okay.
I'll throw that out there for just
Yeah, the tagging helps move through Because otherwise they just look at it
For
and
the
it's like a
screen
jumble of
reader?
words. It says start
Okay.
here. This is the top header, go to through here. Here's the next header, go through here.
Okay,
Lisa, do you have a comment? Lisa, do you have a comment?
Yeah, actually, I have a question, really. Since we're talking about Adobe tagging, and I have done some, I'm in the same position Nancy is. I go back and look and see if I missed a link, but I asked for it a while ago and I haven't received it. So I'm going to ask this question because I know there's several of us from architecture and interior design on this call. With a lot of our courses, we use PDF floor plans. The Adobe Tagger does not recognize a PDF of a floor plan the same way it does of a written document. And so that would seem to imply that we would need to go in and do manual descriptions of elements of the floor plan. However, there's very little precedence to give any guidance on how this should be done. Furthermore, these floor plans, the ones I'm using for my class, are campus buildings. So I had to sign an NDA to get them, and they're a matter of national security because they're a campus building. So what are we supposed to do with with that?
So here's
I mean,
one-
again,
here's
I'm
one
at a little bit of a
workaround,
loss
Lisa.
in terms of how I prepare. And there's like 20 sheets in a construction document set. So, and they're all necessary for the class. So I'm a little unclear about how that's going to work.
And Kate, maybe you want to weigh in on that, but I can give you a workaround is created as an image or
Yeah,
a
that was
figure
going to be
and
my,
alt text it.
yeah.
So it's
So is it like a JPEG or a PNG
a
or?
JPEG or a PNG.
Mhm.
You create an
Okay.
image and then you add the alt text like Kate showed you, which would be in essence describing it as this is an image of a floor plan without
Okay.
being too descriptive.
Okay.
It helps you with your non-disclosures, with your security concerns. You can blur pieces of it, whatever you need to do, depending on how specific your design needs to be. But a workaround is to create it as an image and then add alt text.
They're
Okay.
gonna
So
be
all I
giant
need to do
files.
is, I'm sorry, go ahead.
They're going to be giant files, Lisa, to get the resolution.
Oh, yeah, but yeah. So I mean, that's
Understood.
going to be a
Remember,
nightmare.
we're
But
not the accessibility feds. We're
no,
just
no, no.
trying to
I
come up
know
with
it's
creative
just it's
solutions.
this is a little. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sure my frustration is coming across. It's this is so just so it's clear that all I have to do is say, this is a floor plan. I don't have to go through and describe the elements of the floor plan, even though the students are actively using and analyzing elements of the floor plan in the class.
Well, I think the floor plan description has to be a little bit longer than just it's a floor plan. I think the requirement is like a sentence or two kind of thing. If you
Okay, but
can,
I
for
don't
something
have to
like
go
that.
through and say, this is this area, and these are, this is an exit door, and this is an 8-foot wide corridor, and this is, I don't have to do that. I don't have to go blow by blow and, okay,
I don't think so.
okay.
But I know who can. At the end of this slide deck, there's links. CITT has Wednesdays. I think they have like a free Zoom like office hours session for faculty to go to. And I'll get to that at the end of this thing. And maybe you go to that and you talk to somebody at CITT during their office hours and hit them with that same question. Because I think that, and because I sit and hear some of the other faculty members from different departments talk about what their issues are. And, there's a lot. There's Microsoft Slides, there's what you're talking about. There's a lot of unique things that I'm teaching my class, I have things that are going to be issues that you're not going to see. But as we talk about going through and adding alt text, my class is a ton of pictures because it's software. And over Christmas break, I added 3,000 to 5,000 alt text descriptions. So it's doable and it's very painful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't want to take us down a rabbit hole, but I will just mention I put 2 links in the chat regarding what the workarounds are with regard to federal accessibility guidelines, the WCAG guidelines. So that second one is a quick reference. You'll see an example of images of text or images, and like an example of a floor plan. There are several examples, and then they offer the solutions on how to fix that. So, all right, I'm throwing it back to you, Kate. Keep going, plow through.
Okay. All right, next slide. Where am I? Okay, remember, as you're bringing your information back in, things to keep in mind that we've discussed already is that as you bring your new PDFs in, you're going to have to reconnect your hyperlinks. If you run that ally tool again, don't reconnect your hyperlinks before you run the ally tool. My suggestion is drop in that new PDF that you just made accessible, and then click the ally tool and then see what it's got you at. If it's got you at 97%, and you just have to click it's English for whatever reason, it didn't come in that way, or whatever language you're presenting your class in, do that, have it create the new link, and then do that hyperlink. Okay, so another issue that I found was that when you're bringing in the data and you're running the ally tool and it makes the new link, I had issues where that validate links and content tool wasn't throwing errors when I had broken links. And that's because it was viewing the old link to the old data that didn't exist anymore because it had been replaced by the ally, but it still had a valid link. So I was banging my head saying, well, how do I know this? So I had to go through my Canvas page, and anywhere where I had a link that was not functioning, was going like a 404, like data not found, I realized for those PDFs that, as we can see, the Ally accessibility score, that little green score, hopefully that you have at this point, wasn't sitting next to that hyperlink. So if it's a document like a PDF that they're downloading and it doesn't have that accessibility score next to it, that hyperlink is broken. So that was a way for me to say, oh, this is something that needs to get fixed. Let's see. So as you work through this, we're still talking about the Ally tool. UF Quality Course Review is looking for a minimum of 85%. So work towards that. And once you get to that 85%, they want you to keep working, but that's the minimum, okay? Because remember, this is all on us. We're the ones that are going to get in trouble if it's not accessible, okay? So you want to get that score as high as you can. All right. So another issue I had is that I work with data. I work with some old data. So I have multiple computers. I have one computer that has Microsoft 2016 on it. That software isn't the same as the new Microsoft software. Use the new software. The old software doesn't put the correct tags in. It doesn't have accessibility checker. It doesn't have what you need. Make sure you're using the newest version of Word or PowerPoint if you're using that accessibility checker. Okay, so when you go to export, you should have these tags. If you aren't sure if your tags are properly there or not, you can look at the bottom when you're exporting your PDF at the options in Microsoft products. And in that, you can make sure your document structures tags for accessibility is checked. That's part of the tags we were talking about that it's going to look for when it gives you your score. Okay. Another thing I found when I was doing this is that alt text generate description tool was getting a little clunky after noontime, because I think what's happening is that we've got both coasts, we've got East Coast, Central, and West Coast hitting this Microsoft tool at the same time. And so I think during that time period, it was slowing down for me. So my suggestion is, if you're seeing things where you're like, man, this is taking a lot longer than I expect, try to do your edits with alt text in the morning before the West Coast gets online. All right, or off hours when somebody else isn't going to be using that, because you don't want to sit there wasting time waiting for that alt text generator to come back. Let's see.
You've got a question from Pamela.
Yeah, so my question related maybe back to the last section. How do you suggest we have faculty addressed handwritten notes for courses and hand-drawn diagrams? Because we have a whole bunch of engineering faculty with hand-drawn equations and flow processes that are not a Word document or a PDF.
One of the things that I read was that if it was a process, that you kind of had this definition section where you kind of defined what this meant, and then you kind of wrote it out really long in that spot, or you provide a very long alt text in that spot, and then you just went back and said, reference this, right? So you're saying reference this that was already discussed. And so then you're not doing it for every time it comes up if it's in one document. At the end, I have a section here that kind of talks about math equations and other things like that. I know we're supposed to use Navigator. I have a 12-year-old son who's in a gifted math program, and sometimes he asks me to do math that I haven't done in 20 years. And so I've actually used Gemini to read his image of math equations and handwritten math, and it's come back and provided like a great understanding of what's written on screen as like maybe an alternative to an alt text generator if you're not getting that through the alt text generators that exist through Navigator, which is something else we'll talk about soon. So talking more about alt text, if you're going through Canvas, remember in the beginning I said do this first, it's low-hanging fruit, go and put your alt text in your images in Canvas. If you're having trouble and later on you find out something's coming up or you need to edit that alt text, you can do that here. You can go into your module and you can edit your module, and you can go to your image and hover over it, and you can get to the image options. And in the image options, you can go in and you can edit the alt text for that location, for that image in that location. So why this is important is that sometimes your images are going to be in more than one location. They might be on your Canvas page, and they might be in a quiz. And so maybe on a Canvas page, you want one description, and in a quiz with that image, you want a different description. So this is how you can change those things. All right, so kind of getting back to the beginning, I didn't know about this tool till after. In the Canvas Instructor tools, there's this other cool tool called Tidy Up, and this actually helps you go in and delete your material or know where your material is connected and located. So if you go into your instructor tools, just like you would find the Ally Accessibility Tool report, you're going to find this Tidy File Cleanup tool. And in that, you can use it to delete files. You can look and see where they're located, how they're connected, if you're using it or not. One thing to be aware of as you're using this tool is that Tidy Up can't tell if an image is within a quiz. So if you see an image there and you're not sure you're using it anywhere else, make sure you check your quizzes before you start deleting images because they might be there. Another thing that I'm going to recommend as you're going through this whole process is to have multiple browsers open of your Canvas shell. So I had one browser open with the files, my files window showing where all my files were and all my modules, and another browser window open that had the actual module page that I was working on. And that was really helpful for me to grab a link and put it where I needed to put it, or check and make sure a link was working. So don't just work with one browser window open, have multiple browser windows open as you go through this process. It's going to make it faster than trying to like navigate back and forth and back and forth. That's a big waste of time, and you guys have a lot to do. Remember, delete as many files as possible. And the best practice for this is don't use Tidy Up to delete your files. Use Tidy Up to locate what files you probably can delete, and then go into your files location and delete them in there. That's where you want to actually delete your files. Another tool that I didn't know existed. So I went through this whole process and I thought I was golden. I had 97% through the Ally tool. And then I went and I sat in on a CITT class. Yes, Nancy?
Oh, I was just going to wait till you finish, but I had a question about, is it just better to use Word documents and avoid PDFs whenever you can?
From what I've heard, yes. Word
Okay.
documents are much more accessible. I've heard that if you put your Word document up and you host that Word document, that the student can download the Word document, or Canvas itself can convert the file on the download to whatever format that that student needs.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So like I said, I thought I was golden. I had this, 97%, and I went to a CITT session about 2 weeks ago, and I sat in on that class, and I found out about a brand new tool that, lo and behold, I didn't even know existed. It wasn't in my pane on the left. It wasn't in my instructor tools. It wasn't anywhere. And this tool is called the You Do It tool. And believe me, you're going to do it. You're going to do a lot of editing. So this tool goes in and it looks for different things that make something not accessible, and it catches things that the Ally tool doesn't catch. So yeah, you're going to have to use this tool too. So what I did was I was watching these CITT lectures and I didn't have access to this tool. I didn't see it anywhere on my Canvas page. I didn't know how to get to it, but I did see that they had the external tools number sitting right there. So I just went to my homepage and I copied that link in, and lo and behold, the You Do It tool popped up. Jennifer might have a much better way of adding this tool, but as me, as a faculty member, not knowing and just needing this really quick, this is what worked for me. And as I ran this tool and it showed up, it showed me that my class was actually not accessible. And then it showed me all the reasons why. So I went from thinking I had a 97% accessibility score and I was golden to having a 65% accessibility score that I had to then go and use this tool to fix those other problems with. The whole thing is a pain. Okay. For me to take my class, which I thought was good, from 65% to 86%, it took 5 hours. And this isn't me like walking away, getting distracted. It was 5 hours of work to get this section done. And I'm going to kind of cover what this part covered for me. So the You Do It tool is going to go through and it's going to be really angry at you if in your Canvas page you don't have your header set, and if you're using link text that's improper. So what do I mean by header? So as you can see, there's an example on page. Here we see on the left the inside page before. I didn't have proper headers for my assignment. I wasn't starting my assignment with a header 2 and then working down to header 3 and header 4 throughout the page. I thought, to me, that the header was the assignment title, which was at the top, and then inside the page was just where they needed the links to access the information for the assignment. This is incorrect. You got to go into the assignment page, and inside the assignment page, the header is going to start at 2, and that's because the title starts at header 1 above. And as you're in there, you're going to have to do your headers in order, and this helps the screen readers do proper reading order as it works through your Canvas page. So after you do that, I thought I was golden. I came back, nope. I wish I had stayed on this page instead of walking away. Another thing I learned was that you can't just have click here, link here, come here, get the data here. You can't have links that say something like that. You have to describe the link if you're pulling a student away to a different section. So I had to take all my hyperlinks that were just the word here, and I had to rewrite it to please click here to download the data, or please click here to download the assignment. They had to be descriptive texts. And so this was another thing that I wish I had known the first time I went through this, because I had to go back and forth to all my assignments 100 times, and it would have been a lot faster if I could have just done the headers and done the links and done everything all at once. So don't do what I did, because you're going to waste your time. All right, another thing, you're going to have captions for all of your videos. If your videos are hosted through Mediasite like mine are, then there's ways to have them captioned. Now, if you upload, they're automatically captioned, but my videos were all uploaded a long time ago, and I had to put a request in to have them captioned. If your videos in Mediasite don't appear to be captioned, you need to get that request in very quickly. Anything you're uploading new should have captions. If you're making edits, there's different ways of doing this. The links are here on how to get to the captioning recording videos section. If you have something you need to do yourself, how to turn that button on when you're uploading something or fixing something, or how to connect with UFIT for their captioning service. So when things get uploaded to Mediasite and they has the automatic captioning, that's just a computer running through. If you have something that's, say you need captioned using like a human eye, you're going to have to request that through that bottom link. All right. What we have to do is we've got to add some information to our syllabus. We have to say that content in this course has been reviewed for accessibility, or if you run into any issues with course content, please notify your instructor so that they can make appropriate adjustments. This is you kind of covering for anything that you might have missed, right? Because there's a chance you're not going to be able to get everything done. It's a lot. But if you have this in there and you let the students know that you're willing to go and fix something if they find something you missed, this is going to be a big help. You want to state this probably in an announcement, you want to have it in your syllabus, anywhere you think that it might be helpful to have this type of information, go ahead and just put it in there and let them know to reach out if they find something that's not accessible to them. All right. Another thing that was brought up a lot was archived web content. So some people are like, oh, well, I've got this book and it's old content. That book was written in this, and this is what I thought. I've got this PDF from a long time ago and it's copyright material and I didn't do it. So I'm like, that's fine. It's archived. If it's in your class, archive doesn't count. Archive counts if you have like your own UF web page and you have like archive documents. That's where this really comes in. And if you want more information on this kind of what counts as archive and what doesn't, I would suggest going to the link that's available here. Ohio State does a really good job of telling you what's, archived, what's not. Like there's 4 different things you kind of got to question as you go through it to determine if something's archived. But for you guys in your Canvas courses, archive doesn't really count. I wish it did. I tried to use that as a get out of jail free card early on, and I had to redo some PDFs. Nancy, do you have another question?
Yeah, so if it's a course that you're not teaching anymore, but it's still published, if you archive it, is that it? You're good?
So what's going to happen is that UF is still trying to figure out what they're going to do with the old course content. They're trying to go in and trying to make the courses that you had before no longer viewable to your previous students. What they might do is, because it is old course content before this rule came out, they might go in and rechange the title to include archived, but UF is still trying to figure out what they're going to do about that.
But we're not responsible for that for the 24th, are we? Because they would have to
No,
tell us pretty soon.
that's on UF because they're still trying to figure out what they're going to do about that.
Okay, good.
That's what I was told. But we can circle back. That might be another, as we get closer to the end of April, it might be another good question to kind of post out to the CITT group, because they're still working on that, your old Canvas shells and how that applies. But I think that's what their main thing was adding that to the title, that it was archived. Okay, so what helped me a lot, and don't forget this here as a tool, is the UF Navigator chat. Because I was like, what do they mean by this HTML has a gap and this and that, or an empty header? What's an empty header? And so this really helped me to figure out what some of those things were, which were coming from the Ally report, which I didn't know. And so, don't forget this is here as a tool. Okay. As you work through this, there's a lot of references. If you need any of these links or other links, scientific graphs, once again, how to get that free access to the Adobe Acrobat Pro. And then further on in this, and I'm not going to get into all these because there's a lot here, but everybody else has their own, like, oh, I've got this thing. And I've heard this, I've got this thing from a couple people that I've kind of threw this in here. This is just some extra stuff. If you're interested about, oh, but it's copyright material, yes, this too, and there's some more information on that. And then steps, and then working with the library department and what they're going to probably be doing and what they're probably not going to be doing and how that can impact you. There was some more questions. There were people who had alt text questions related to their quiz images and that kind of information. And another thing I kind of discovered along the way with that, math equations and what a good tool is if you have math equations to create the alt text for math equations. A little bit of stuff from Microsoft Slides, a little bit more on the archive web content, and then some deep dives into the Ally. So what my Ally printout was, and there, so you can just kind of highlight and grab it, or what my little note was on that, it's in there. And then if you have a website that's separate that you're trying to manage, there's this tool called Wave. It's a web accessibility evaluation tool. So my center hosts the Florida Geographic Data Library and our GeoPlan Center webpage. And so our Geographic Data Library and our UF Center webpage also have to be accessible. So this is another thing we're doing on top of our Canvas updates to make them accessible. We're also making our center websites accessible. So if you have a center and you're in charge of the website for that, this tool, but there's a lot of other good tools available through UF as well. So really quick, copyright, what to do, alt text. Another thing really quick, when somebody mentioned alt text and their images in their Canvas quizzes, you can go in there, like I said before, and you can go to the image options and you can edit the alt text in there. Another thing that I didn't realize I was doing till now was that my file name was the answer to my quiz. And so if you went into my quiz and you right-clicked and said, inspect this web page, right there, I was giving away the answer to my quiz in the file name of the image. So if that's going to happen to you, or you're doing that, I mean, when I was building the quiz, it was a lot easier for me to read the file name and go, oh yeah, that's this image, and put it where I needed to put it. But I was giving the information away for those smart kids who knows how to read all this web page information. So just know that. All right. All right, the wave tool, see how this kind of looks at a website and goes through. And then learning more. I'm here just to share what I've learned because I don't want everybody to have to redo something 2 times or not know something and have to go back to their page. I don't want you to waste time like I did. This is a lot to do, but you can do it. Just do it in little groups, do it in batches, and do a little bit every day. Don't put it off. UFit now offers accessibility office hours via Zoom every Wednesday, right? From 1 to 3 p.m. That link is also in this. If you haven't downloaded this PDF that I've made available, go ahead and do it now. If you don't see it in the chat, let us know and we can repost it. Also, the class that I went to, they recorded some of their Zoom sessions and classes that had some extra information in here that I didn't cover. You know, if you have an extra hour to go watch something, go for it. Anywhere you can learn more to help you get through this, you know, do it. CITT has a bunch of classes. If you have questions, reach out to them. But I'm here and I can go through anything else if anybody has any other questions. Yes, Nancy?
I was just
Thanks.
thanking you.
No problem. Jennifer, do you have anything else to add?
Hopefully everybody got the attendance link as well as the presentation link. I'll put that in one more time.
I have a quick question. Okay, do you know, this is probably asking for too much. Do
Yes,
you
Pamela.
know if the CITT or anyone, like, wouldn't it be so cool if there was a exemplar generic Canvas shell that showed when things look right? Is anything like that exist?
I would like that too. I would also like, you know what I would also
Love
like was when they showed those 8, like these are the top 10 8. I wish they had mini videos, like a 3-minute video on how to do this, a 3-minute video on how to do that, because I don't
Yes,
want to sit there and watch an hour-long presentation for something where I only need this 3-minute section, you know,
right,
and to try to dig through it. So to me,
right.
it'd be really helpful if, like you're saying, they developed a Canvas shell or kind of made a little bit deeper some of their other stuff.
Yeah, I've been poking around like on YouTube and stuff, not like you have specific content, but and this is such a good thing and an important thing. And I teach in health professions where we try to be accessible, you know, anyways. So it's not been a big leap, but what I'm finding is what you mentioned, like keeping what I have as kind of the need to know stuff in my Canvas course, need to have stuff, and kind of yanking the rest out for right now.
Yeah, so when I downloaded my data from my files for all my PDFs, I was pulling those PDFs and I knew what was required and I put them in my required folder, and then I had not required, I put that in a different folder. And it just felt like a lot to do. And so I just said, just get the required done first. And
Okay.
so, you know, I just kind of like slowly went at it and continued to stay at it.
Okay.
But it's a lot, but we can do it, but it is a lot.
Thank you.
Steve.
This has been so great. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, no problem. Stephen, do you have a question?
Yeah, thanks for the presentation. I'm wondering, so I've been working on my hardest files, like the ones that I have that are Words or PowerPoints that, you know, you have a file for. Yeah, you can go through and deal with those. But like a PDF that's scanned from a book,
Mm-hmm.
has an extensive amount of graphic design,
Mm-hmm.
as many art and architecture sources do. I've been going through and like the tags come in with the auto tag, and it's hard to really tell if they make sense or work or not.
Mm-hmm.
I can probably classify background imagery as decorative.
I had to do that. So I have a lot of older PDFs that had the same problem. They were all very decorative, created by somebody else, and it was a nightmare. And I thought I got everything and brought it back into Ally and then had stuff missing. So it's a lot. But
The
yeah, a lot of
most I
that
can,
is decorative.
yeah, the most I can get to in these files is 50%. So, or 53%. I'm guessing that if I want to risk it and continue to use them because they are good texts, they're important to the understanding of an assignment, or broadening. I mean, they're part of what we do as teachers, instructors. Um, if I get to 90% in a class because there's 5 or 6 documents that are like this, am I wrong, or is that like, am I right to do that? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
am I
Like
a bad person?
I think you're trying really hard and you're not a bad person. How's that?
Well,
I
yeah,
would
but I mean,
say,
would
I would
the
say as long as you put that part in your syllabus that and then if you have that, you know, part in your syllabus that say, hey, I had tried to make this accessible for everybody, and then that one PDF that's only 50% accessible, if somebody later on comes back and says, this isn't working for me, and you've worked really hard, you could try to make another attempt. Maybe you can find a web link for that content that you didn't know about to have in your back pocket as like a just in case. Um,
here's
Sometimes
another,
taking that PDF from
yeah.
being a PDF and making it a Word document and
Well,
then
but it's not
posting it.
about the text.
Yeah.
That's the thing. The information is not about the text. The information is conveyed visually. And so it's not like you're going to be able to overcome this, I think. The
Mm-hmm.
other question I have about that is if, for example, the main body of your assignment and the materials are all, 100% accessible, but you include additional materials that aren't required for the assignment, and
Mm-hmm.
and add those there, does that improve the, I mean, it's not going to improve the rating because the system doesn't understand it any differently. But if uh, folks from title, whatever, ADA were to come through, would they look at that more favorably, do you think?
That is a really good legal question that I can't answer.
Okay.
But maybe you can reach out to CITT during their Wednesday Zoom session and see if they have any recommendations. Like maybe they have something that they've had somebody bring something similar to them before, and they can say, oh, we've got this example and it sounds like it's similar and we might be able to apply a similar fix or something like that. I'm not
Yeah.
really sure.
It seems to me that like this has great intentions, but it also like will end up removing what I think of as important historical documents or things that that form a continuum over time in the design profession,
Mm-hmm.
that because of this, so they'll be gone.
Yeah, I had to do that for my class. I had really, really good old information that it was not, I could not update it. I tried every which way to update it. I couldn't. And so I just said, ugh, I'm just going to pull it. And, and, and I think it's unfair. I think it's unfair because it was like an accessory, right? It wasn't required material. And now these accessory pieces, these students don't have access to anymore. And I was disappointed by that. But at this point, I'm not quite sure what to do unless down the line they invent some better tool that's going to fix this for us. So we're kind of there too. Like, is what's coming technology wise that's going to help us with this?
Okay, thanks a lot.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're almost at time. Just a reminder, folks, you'll get the materials as a follow-up email. Make sure you marked yourself in the attendance and you should be able to get the resources emailed out. Thank you, Kate, so very much. This has been so helpful. And again, don't send Kate any questions. Send it to CITT.
Yeah, go to that Wednesday Zoom session.
All
Pick their
right.
brains.
Have a great day, everyone.
All right. Bye.